Good morning. I'm Lieutenant Adam Pierce, Production Flight Commander, 2nd Munitions Squadron, Barksdale Air Force Base, Louisiana, representing the Cajun chapter. It is my pleasure to introduce our next guest speaker, Major General C. Donald Alston. General Alston is the Assistant Chief of Staff, Strategic Deterrence and Nuclear Integration, Headquarters, U.S. Air Force, Washington, D.C. He is responsible for increasing nuclear focus by ensuring corporate advocacy and cradle-grade stewardship of Air Force nuclear systems and weapons, integrating and synchronizing Headquarters U.S. Air Force strategic nuclear mission management supporting major commands, engaging with joint, departmental, and national agency mission partners to facilitate integrated nuclear enterprise solutions, and maintaining synchronization in Air Force strategic deterrent capabilities. General, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. Very inspiring to me that the 2nd Bomb Wing Munitions introduced me. It's a good thing. Love the intimate setting. Thank you very much. I was thinking this morning as because I really, truly have been looking forward to this opportunity, that I'll be able to tell my mother that I perform live on stage at the Rio. Yes, that is where Penn and Teller and the Chippendales are, but there's limits to that, I guess. I am thrilled to be here, and I deeply appreciate the opportunity to kind of bring you up to speed on where we are with the nuclear enterprise. I get a chance to engage in a lot of different forums, but I've never had the chance to engage in a forum like this, so this is a very special opportunity. But let me tell you what I don't want to achieve here today. What I do not want to achieve today is that the nuclear guy came and told you, as if you were outsiders, what was going on inside the priesthood. If I want to make one very important point up front, and I hope that I reinforce it through the course of my brief remarks. I believe very strongly that all airmen have fantastic equities in strategic deterrence. That our Air Force, when it was born, and therefore in your traceable DNA, is strategic deterrence, and an expectation for the country that we are effective and succeed in strategic deterrence every day. And this is vital. If you see me as a nuclear guy and you cannot identify with strategic deterrence, I think that would be a systemic challenge that my Air Force has for not embracing this broad concept as thoroughly as we need to embrace this concept. The nuclear deterrence piece of this is certainly a special subset within that. But because of your precise and reliable operations and everything that you do every day, we contribute to a calculus that those who would do us harm do that calculus and say, because of you, because of us, not today. We have been successful for generations at that calculus always coming up as not today, from an attack on the United States that would put at risk our survival as a nation as we know it. We all operate in the strategic commons. The Air Force affects the strategic commons as central to our portfolio. We all share that responsibility. And because of our effectiveness with strategic deterrence and nuclear deterrence, it enables our Air Force to achieve other effects and provides a freedom of movement that our nation depends on in order to achieve our national security requirements. So I want to bring you into this. I don't want you to see me as the outside nuke guy coming on here trying to do some translation of what's going on in the arcane priesthood. There's things I'm going to talk about today with regard to precision and reliability that are extremely portable to the rest of our Air Force, and in fact, they're being performed every day. In a lot of ways, we're not doing anything special in nuclear that we don't want to do every place else, and that we're not doing effectively anyplace else. So that's the fundamental message on the front end of this thing, and I'll reinforce it as we go through here. I hope you will ask me questions when we're done. I think that if I haven't spent all my time, and with me and a microphone and a stage, I could, But I'd just as soon hold you hostage to get 2 or 3 questions. So I hope you're thinking about that while we're going through this. And nothing's off limits. You want to talk nuclear posture review? I'm working with that every day. And I welcome any of that. So got a few pages of things to try to sort of keep me on track. So let me work through a couple of things. I've already covered so much of this. It's amazing how efficient I can be. Because of the way the Air Force does nuclear, it's not as simple as the Navy. Navy has arguably a single platform, a couple of different missiles associated with that. Very demanding job, very well managed, as a matter of fact. And in fact, that model I was charged to look at to see how much we could be like them, because they have had some success and they are worthy of that kind of examination. In my role, I've tried to capture as much as I practically could to see what I could do to distribute that and invest that in our Air Force. But the reality is we have 6 major commands that have equities in nuclear, and most of you in this room are wearing a patch from one of those 6 commands. Air Combat Command, until the 1st of February, directly involved in the nuclear mission. Air Force Space Command, until the 1st of December, still some legacy relationship, but the 20th Air Force Forces will transfer then. Air Force Materiel Command, the sole sustainer of nuclear. Air Mobility Command, for moving our weapons around. Air Education and Training Command, obviously, with our pipeline and our student throughput. Professional military education, other things that I'll touch on. And now Air Force Global Strike Command. That's a lot of different patches, the way we do nuclear. In addition to that, the Air Staff, A1 through 9, and pick the letters as well as the numbers, the XC and the other folks, all have equities in nuclear. So this is more a presence distributed across our Air Force at a range, at a breadth and a depth that frankly I wasn't fully familiar with the extent until I had the job that I'm in right now. So there is an identity there just because of your relationship with your staff or your command that brings you into this fight as well. So if you didn't fully think about how this is in your DNA, because strategic attack was one of the fundamental reasons why our Air Force was born, fast forward 60 years and you still are finding that requirement to operate effectively in these strategic commons is still the fabric of what you're trying to achieve with us. I believe there are some fundamental truths that I would like to share before I get into kind of a list of things that we've been moving on and where we stand. Truth number 1, strategic deterrence is vital to the United States of America. Credible nuclear deterrence is key to effective strategic deterrence. Capable systems and competent people underpin credible nuclear deterrence. Deterrence is manufactured every day with sweat. And nuclear weapons are used effectively every day. A little part of that nuclear deterrence is manufactured every day. Many of you are deeply on the inside of that. Many of you, our ICBM business, America's alert force, is paced and the tempo is generated by maintenance. Fantastic success story that we can keep an alert rate in the 99% area across all these miles with fantastic leadership and skill that delivers it every day. But so many other folks in our Air Force and beyond kind of see deterrence and even an alert force as some static thing that just sort of sits out there. I guess something could go wrong. I guess they could get old. I was sitting next to a guy on the plane last night who said, are all those going to work? They've been out there a long time. I said, nothing's that old. There's guys, because of the love and care that we put into those systems are highly effective and reliable today. But a lot of people don't fully appreciate just how much deterrence is not a static thing, that it takes fantastic energy and sweat equity to produce that every day. And you're a part of that. You are the center. You're the heart of that, as a matter of fact. All right. Every action that we've taken so far, particularly over the last year when we have been reinvigorating the nuclear enterprise, has been a measure towards the long haul. this is the way to do it. It's the way to do it better. This isn't about overcoming shortcomings. This is about getting a footing to ensure that we are back on that legacy of excellence that we've been renowned for generations. Today we're doing that with a lot of leadership intervention because I don't believe the bench strength and the depth is what it needs to be. But 16 years of benign and active neglect with the nuclear mission is not going to be overcome in a year or two. And the people part's the long pole in the tent, and it's going to take years for us to develop the depth and the bench strength that we need in order to achieve a certain level of performance. I have no trouble sleeping tonight because we have fantastic commitment, great leadership, and an awful lot of hands-on management that's going on right now. But follow-on forces that are cared for in ways that put that edge to ensure that those skills are where they need to be. I mean, what if we were optimized for 22 bomb wings and 9 missile wings? What if we were optimized at those force levels? And as we've drawn down to 3 missile wings and 3 bomb wings, with good senior leaders that are watching all this happen, what if that's not a linear function? What if the premise is correct, what if we're not optimized to produce nuclear surety every day the way we were at 22 and 9? But we're getting by and we're doing fine, but we don't realize how much we may be sub-optimized. We're going to look at this to make sure that at these lower force levels that we're producing nuke surety to the degree that we're depending on. But that's just something to think about, something certainly I think about. But the changes that we're making are for the long haul, and they're value added for deterrence. This is about generating deterrence. First and last, it's about deterrence. So let me go through a few things. Global Strike Command, standing up Global Strike Command, probably the most visible initiative over the course of the last year. Chief Secretary made the decision at Corona, first week of October last year. We began meeting a few weeks later. We were told it was a 24-month process in order to stand up new major command. We did it well, you saw how quick we did it. We stood it up and unfurled the flag on the 7th of August. Fantastic effort. But, they said 24 months because you were supposed to survey 100% of the bases in the Air Force, and there's no way we're going to do that. There were only a few places that Global Strike Command could go in the first place. So folks have come up to me and they said, Don, we have, when the Air Force has a problem, we typically reorganize. We feel really good about it. We don't really get to the root cause of the problem, but we feel good when we reorganize, and we're doing it again. I will tell you that we need to have cultural impact. With the 2 major commands that are operating nuclear forces today, Air Force Space Command and Air Combat Command, there is uneven focus. Good Americans doing good things, great things. But uneven focus, uneven resources, lots of competing, extraordinarily important initiatives and programs that our nation's depending on, all not nuclear, of course. By bringing it into one command and a single commander being accountable for ensuring that we have an even level of focus across the nuclear enterprise, at least for those 2 numbered air forces, and frankly, General Klotz, I think, will be him and General Hoffman will be the dominant nuclear requirements generators for our Air Force. But that kind of the opportunity we have for one commander to set common standards for the operating forces and then enforcing that with accountability evenly, we think that those are condition-setting opportunities and imperatives that are going to help us achieve the kind of cultural impact that will be value-added to the future of the nuclear enterprise.